breaking news tonight. Two bombshell headlines this evening involving two men who worked very closely with the president. A guilty plea from one of them and a guilty verdict for the other. On the left there, President Trump's former campaign chairman Paul Manafort found guilty on 8 counts against him. Jurors could not reach consensus on the other 10 counts. On the right, Michael Cohen, who just a short time later we learned was pleading guilty in another courtroom to 8 charges, surrendering to the FBI here in New York City. Appearing in court, the president's longtime fixer, who once said he would take a bullet for the president, pleading guilty today to those charges, including campaign finance violations meant to silence 2 women. Cohen acknowledging he was working, quote, in coordination and at the direction of a candidate for federal office. So tonight, what does this mean for President Trump? We begin with the drama unfolding just a short time ago involving the lawyer and the fixer who was at the president's side for years. ABC senior national correspondent Tom Yamas leading us off.
He was the president's loyal lieutenant and longtime fixer, the personal lawyer who once said he'd take a bullet for Donald Trump. But today, Michael Cohen walked out of federal court after pleading guilty to illegally paying hush money to silence 2 women who claimed to have had sexual relationships with the president.
Michael, what's your message to the president?
Cohen today telling the judge he was working in coordination and at the direction of a candidate for federal office.
Mr. Cohen pled guilty to 2 campaign finance charges, one for causing an unlawful corporate contribution, and a second one for personally making an excessive personal contribution, both for the purpose of influencing the 2016 election.
Just 11 days before the election, Cohen paid off porn star Stormy Daniels, who claimed she had a one-night affair with Trump. The president initially said he knew nothing about it.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels? Then why did Michael Cohen make it if there was no truth or allegation?
You have to ask Michael Cohen. Michael's my attorney, and you'll have to ask Michael.
But months later, a different story from the president's new attorney, Rudy Giuliani.
That money was not campaign money. Sorry, I'm giving you a fact now that you don't know. It's not campaign money. No campaign finance violation. So
they funneled it through the law firm.
Funneled through the law firm, and the president repaid it.
Oh, I didn't know he did.
Yep.
Prosecutors say Cohen was reimbursed by the Trump Organization.
Mr. Cohen sought reimbursement for that money by submitting invoices to the candidate's company, which were untrue and false. It was simply a means to obtain reimbursement for the unlawful campaign contribution.
Cohen also involved in the payoff to Karen McDougal, a former Playboy playmate who claimed she had a 1-year-long affair with Mr. Trump. Just before the election, McDougal sold her story to the publisher of the National Enquirer. They bought it and buried it, a practice known as catch and kill. The president denied knowing about that payment as well. But Cohen secretly recorded a 2016 conversation where the 2 men seemed to discuss buying the rights to McDougal's story from the Enquirer publisher.
When it comes time for the financing, which will be...
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you. So
I'll pay the cash.
No. I got... No.
Cohen worked for President Trump for more than a decade.
I'll do anything to protect Mr. Trump. I'm obviously very loyal and very dedicated to Mr. Trump.
When his home, office, and hotel room were raided by the FBI, the president was outraged.
It's a disgrace. It's frankly a real disgrace. It's an attack on our country in a true sense. It's an attack on what we all stand for.
Trump said he was confident Cohen would not turn on him. But the pressure on Cohen only grew. In June, it was clear he was looking to cut a deal, telling our George Stephanopoulos, "My wife, my daughter, and my son have my first loyalty and always will. I put my family and country first." And when Cohen's team released that secretly recorded conversation with Trump, it was war.
He's been lying for years. There's nobody that I know that knows him that hasn't warned me that if his back is up against the wall, he'll lie like crazy, because he's lied all his life.
Tonight, Cohen pleading guilty to a total of 8 felony charges. In addition to the 2 campaign finance counts, there's 1 count of giving a false statement to a bank and 5 counts of tax evasion.
So let's get to Tom Yamas. He's live with us tonight from federal court in Lower Manhattan, right here in New York City. And Tom, one major outstanding question that remains tonight: will Michael Cohen cooperate with special counsel Robert Mueller? We did not get an answer to that today.
That is the big question. Now, the plea agreement does not prevent him from cooperating with federal prosecutors, but it also doesn't tell him he has to cooperate with them. And this is the big question, David, especially at sentencing, because prosecutors could recommend a reduced sentence if Michael Cohen indeed is working with them, including the special counsel.
We know that sentencing is scheduled for December. And Tom, I want to get to something that you reported on at the top there, that Michael Cohen acknowledged in court today that he was working, quote, in coordination and at the direction of a candidate for federal office. This was significant.
If there was any doubt in court, the court documents say that candidate was Donald J. Trump. And in court, Michael Cohen said this to the judge: I participated in this conduct for the principal purpose of influencing his election. A bold statement. David?
Tom Yamas leading us off tonight. Tom, our thanks to you. And
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.